Hey, what's up guys? Antoine Vinny here, and I'm giving you a different type of video today. Today I'm going to be making a tutorial for how to make pop-up gun thumbnails for Call of Duty, Battlefield, any first-person shooter really. And I've been looking for videos on how to make these for a very long time on YouTube, and I've never been able to find one. I found a lot of tutorials on how to make thumbnails, how to make gaming style thumbnails, Call of Duty thumbnails, but I've never seen this technique on how to get the glow around the gun, how to isolate the gun so that you can put it over different images, over different backgrounds, how to isolate hands, how to isolate gestures, anything really. And I finally figured it out. It's actually not a very hard technique. Well, there's two techniques I'm going to show you. One is very difficult and takes a long time, and one is a little bit easier, a lot easier actually. And it uses a technique called keying, which many of you probably are familiar with. It's like green screening, but you do it within the game. So I'm going to show you both techniques. Let's start with the hard one first. Alright guys, so here I am on my OBS. I've brought up my desktop so you can see what I'm working on, and I'm going to show you the two methods on how to do this. We're going to start with the harder method. So basically open up Photoshop or whatever Photoshop-esque program that you have. I run a little thing called Pixelmator. It's like an Apple product. It's like a budget Photoshop, but it does a lot of the same things Photoshop does for a fraction of the price. Not a sponsored thing. It's just something I've been using for years and it's worked for me. So let's get a thumbnail in here. So I'm gonna drag in this Warzone background. I'm actually gonna make the thumbnail that I just made today for another video, which I'll put up right now. So this is our background, and let's say we want to add, I'm gonna show you both methods. Okay, here we go. So you're gonna see that I have a yellow van in the background, and that probably gives you a huge hint as to what the second method is. So I'm gonna just show you, let's imagine that this background is not a yellow van, it's just like anywhere in the game really. So the first method that I was using a lot before I figured this out was the erase method, and it's super time consuming and it's super difficult. Basically what I do is I turn my eraser down low to a really small pixel size, and I bring my hardness to about 50% because you can see there's some soft pixeling. Pixeling, is that even a word? There's some soft pixelation toward the edge of the gun, and what I would do is I would literally erase the gun like this, and I would shift click also to do stuff like this, and I would literally erase around the gun. And I did this for all my thumbnails until today. Okay, now imagine doing that for an hour or two. You got to go around the whole gun, every single detail, every single line, and on top of that you would have the background to deal with too, so sometimes it'd be even hard to tell where the gun is separate from the background. So that's method one. Both of these have the same end result, so you could do either method and it'll work just as fine, but one takes 20 times longer than the other, actually like a million times longer. You're gonna see how I'm not gonna do method one because it's just not gonna be possible for the length of this video. Method two is by far the best. Okay, so here's what we do. What I'm gonna do is just make a little cutout like this so that I have only the gun. Let me invert that selection and delete everything else like that. I'm not gonna show you all of the stuff I'm doing. I'm basically just showing you how to accomplish these things. You can use the eraser tool to erase around the gun if you don't know what I just did there. I just did a lasso and then I inverted the selection. And now what I'm going to do is like a color key. You can do this in Adobe Premiere, you can do this in Final Cut, you can do this in any editing software that lets you key. You can do it in Photoshop. I'm doing it in this program because I know it works fine, because this yellow is a solid yellow. So what you want to do is you want to go somewhere on a map in your game, Call of Duty, Battlefield, any other first-person shooter. You want to find a solid color anywhere on the map, and I just happened to find this yellow van that was on Anaya Palace on Modern Warfare, the ground war map, not Anaya Insurgent. You don't want that one. You want the Palace, because this has the white vans out, or not the white, the yellow vans. So what I do is I'm isolating yellow, and I go right to where you see the gun starts to get bright. I'm going to pull it back a little bit because I don't want to delete those skulls, and I want it to be pitch black. Just like that. Boom. There we go. Now it's selected everything yellow, and I click delete. There we go. And we have deleted everything around the gun that is yellow. Of course, with on the program I'm using, there will still be a little bit of yellow here, as you can see. But I think if you do it on like Photoshop or Premiere, you'll get more control over that little bit of yellow on the side. And let me show you also how to do the glow effect. You can do this with method 1 or method 2. They both work the same, because once you isolate the gun, look, you only have the gun here, you see? You can do this with hand gestures too, the thumbs up, the aye captain, whatever, the salute, that's what it's called. Wow, I couldn't think of that. You just want to make sure that there's a solid color behind whatever you're trying to isolate. So if you want to make the glow, what we're going to do is duplicate the gun. So let's duplicate that. Okay, so now you see I have 2 copies of it. What I'm going to do is go to the bottom one. I'm going to turn this off so I can see what changes I'm making. And any editing software will have this effect. It's called threshold. It's basically the black and like the solid black and the solid white effect. I'm sure you are all familiar with it. What you want to do is bring your threshold all the way to white. You could do this with black too, but I choose white because what I do is I either make a white glow, which I'll show you now, or I do a color glow. So now I turn on the top layer, and you see I have 2 layers now. And what I do is I go to the bottom layer. This is top layer, bottom layer. I go to my Gaussian blur, also in every editing software. And what I do is I can adjust the blur amount like this. So let's do something like that. If you want a really nice fade, you can do that. If you want something tighter, you can do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layer that has the blur so it's more solid. So check this out. So there's before, after. There's the single layer, double layer, and you can even go thicker if you want. Duplicate it again. Now you get a super thick glow around the gun. So there's just the one. It's a nice light glow, subtle. There's 2. There's 3. You can even go 4 and it gets a really big glow, solid glow, depending on what effect you want. And now let me show you how to do colors. Super easy. Alright, so let's turn that off. Top layer. Now we're just left with the white threshold layer. We're going to go to replace color. There's a lot of different options in different editing softwares for how to do this. So you have to find out which one works for you. Actually, before we do that, let me erase the outline because it took some of the outline of the image with it. Let me erase that real quick. There we go. Should be good now. Okay. All right, so let's go back to replace color. Get that white. 100% radius because we want to get all of the white. And we're going to turn down the lightness a little bit so it's darker. And now turn up the saturation and it'll catch the color. We're going to adjust the hue. Let's say we want a green. Let's go green. Let's say the theme of our channel is green color, okay? So now we can adjust these values to get like the perfect green. We want like a nice dark fluorescent green. That looks good right there. So now we click OK, and it's the same process. We reveal our upper layer, and then we just blur it like this. There we go. Now we have green. Let's duplicate that. Boom. Now we have green behind the gun. So guys, that's basically how you do it. That's how you make a pop-out gun, and you can do that really in front of any background, and the result I'm sure you'll be happy with. I'm super stoked with this green screen method. I love it. It's so fast. You can make thumbnails so quickly. I literally was spending hours making these thumbnails and it was eating me alive, and now I don't have to do it anymore, and I'm so stoked. I'm so happy, guys. So I think that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making this for you. I think the community really needs a tutorial like this. I don't know what's going on, if there's like some kind of secret to this, but it's not secret. Green screening is a super easy technique and anyone can do it. All you have to do is just get your gun and find somewhere in the map that has a solid color. It has to be solid. Just stand in front of it and then record the screen, take a screenshot, and then load it into your editing software, and then isolate that color using a chroma key, a green, anything key, and then just delete that color, and you should be good. Easy as that. You can also do the erase method, just erase around the gun, but that's gonna take hours, and I don't recommend that. I really recommend taking the time go on Anaya Palace, find the yellow vans in the middle of the map, and they're actually by the D flag on the ground war map, and then just get your green screen through that. Alright guys, that's how you do it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. It helps new people see the videos. Also subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notification bell as well so you can be alerted of all my future uploads. I upload primarily Call of Duty Modern Warfare content, but I also dabble in Battlefield a little bit as well, and a lot of older NES games also, just like keep it classy. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something from this, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.